Hello everyone of YouTube, it is I, Eric the Cyborg of Team Rebellion, coming with a brand new update for Orcust for post-eternity code. I mean, you could also do count Toon Chaos, but there's nothing from Toon Chaos in this deck right now, or at all, as a matter of fact, to be honest. Anyway, so Eternity Code came out about a few weeks ago. This guy came out with it. Pretty much just meant that you no longer have to run Arm, mekk-knight, and Dark Grepher in the deck anymore, because you have your own searchable level monster that does the exact same thing as they do. And with Harp Horror still being banned, you pretty much have to run a higher number of your Orcust monsters. But anyway, let's get into it, boys. So starting with the main new guy. 3, Girsu, the Orcust mekk-knight. So what he does is that when he is summoned, he'll either send a Orcust or a World Legacy monster from your deck to the graveyard, and also you can summon a token to both players' side of the field. So it dumps, and it also gives you a free summon for a link plays. Running 3 of Orcust Nightmare now, because, like I said, Harp Horror is no longer with us, as it got banned. RIP. So for those who don't know what she does, she's a foolish burial by banishing herself. You banish her from grave, target 1 card on the field, and you send a Dark Machine monster from your deck to the graveyard, and that monster gains attack based on that monster's level. So it's a great effect to use during damage step to win games. Double Sybil Skeleton. It's a monster born by banishing itself from the grave. Banish itself, target a Orcust monster in your graveyard, special summon it. And then the last Orcust monster, well, named Orcust monster, is the Brass Bomber. This guy needs a super rare now, Konami, so let's get him a super rare so he can match with the other ones in the deck. Anyway, he is your free summon from the hand by banishing him from the graveyard.
How come he's a tuner, right?
Yes, he's a tuner.
How come there's no Orcust Synchro?
They do have one.
Wait, which? An Orcust Synchro?
It's called Borlo Savage Dragon. Which...
But that's not Orcust.
It's easy to summon in the deck either way. Which, unfortunately, don't run them because there's not enough space in the deck. But you could if you wanted to. Anyway, continuing on. 2 of the World Legacy World Wands. So what this does is that if it's sent to the graveyard, if you happen to have the other copy in your hand, if it's sent to the graveyard, you pretty much just summon the other one from your hand. So it recycles itself pretty much in that regard. And then its banish effect is that you banish it from your graveyard to target one of your banished machine monsters. Hint on the just banished machine monster. And then you get to summon that monster from being banished. So it helps to get your all of your Orcust monsters back to the graveyard to help their effects trigger again in the later turns. So that's it for the Orcust style of the deck. Now for the extenders that I'm currently running, which is the current Machina engine with the 1 Citadel. So for him, if a Earth Machine monster is destroyed by battle or card effect while he's in the graveyard, you just summon him out from the graveyard, and during each player's turn, he's a Regeki. So you must just opponent's turn, target himself, target himself, tribute himself to destroy all monsters on your opponent's field that are equal to or less than 3,000. So it's a perfect interruption. One Machina Metal Cruncher. He's your main searcher for the scrap recyclers, because when he is summoned, you basically reveal 3 Earth Machine monsters from your deck. Normally, it'll always be scrap recyclers. Your opponent chooses one of them, and that monster goes to your hand, and the rest go back to your deck. Oh, also, you never want to normal summon this guy, because you are able to actually normal summon him without tribute if you have no cards on your field. So, important note: never normal summon this guy unless you really have to. One Machina Mega Form. He is the main way you are going to be bringing out Metal Cruncher, because you summon him to your field. He would tribute himself to summon a Machina monster from your deck, which will most of the time always be Metal Cruncher. And then Machina Fortress, just for a free summon by discarding your Orcust monsters into the graveyard, which helps with the graveyard setup, obviously. And he's a nice little beater to have as well. And the last Machina is the one Machina Radiator. So what he does is that you can discard a Machina card, I believe. No, a Machina monster, except for himself, obviously. And then you would summon him from your hand. His other effect is that you would target a Earth Machine monster on your field, and then target one Machina monster in your graveyard that is equal, whose level is equal to, or I think it has to be exactly equal to. One Machina monster with a different name and an equal or lower level than that monster. So pretty much target himself, you would have this guy in your graveyard, summon him out from the graveyard, pop him, and then proceed your play to tribute him, summon Metal Cruncher, and then you just go on from all that. For your other main normal summon besides Girsu, the scrap package with the 3 scrap recyclers and then the 1 scrap golem, because it just works really well. It's perfect for this deck. It just helps set up your graveyard and everything else just flows right through. And then for the one of others, one gives Orochi for a big beat stick, and he's a dark machine, so you can easily just send him to your graveyard to go off. And then one Jet Synchron, you can keep bringing him back to your field with the World Wand, and he's also just a free monster to get out. And then for hand traps, obviously the 3 Ash Blossoms. You could run Ghost Ogres, Ghost Mourner if you want, but I think Ash is probably the best one so far. As for monsters on the spells, the Machina draw card, then 3 Machina redeployment. So this card also helps set up your graveyard by discarding a card. It has two separate effects. You can discard 1 card from your hand to add add up to 2 Machina monsters from your deck to your hand, or you can discard one Machina card to add 2 Machina cards. So either way, you're getting your Machina cards to your hand either way. We're also running 3 Orchestrated Returns for the draw power for all your Orcust and World Legacy monsters. Just pitch them to the grave, draw 2. Simple as that. And then triple call by the grave, or also known as Begone Demon Childs, because hand traps also hurt. Hand traps hurt the deck a lot, so this is an obvious card to keep in. Triple Twin Twisters. You could obviously swap them out for Cosmic Cyclone. I'm running this because it also helps set up your graveyard by discarding a card from your hand. So you just pitch your Orcust monsters or anything else you don't need in your hand right now, and you just pop back row, or just pop a field spell called the Mystic Mind. For the other Orcust spell is the one Babel, which makes all your Orcust monsters into quick effects, which is the best field spell in the deck. You could argue to run 2, but I'll probably do a side deck for a second copy of this in the side deck, and then 1 World Legacy Succession for basically just a monster reborn to a zone that a League monster points to, and then 1 Foolish Burial because it's a graveyard deck. You want to get your stuff to the graveyard as soon as possible. And then, of course, the only trap card you need is the one Crescendo to just negate whatever you want and banish it. And then it also searches for a Orcust monster from either your deck or a banished pile. So, card's good. Anyway, that's the main deck. Onto the extra deck. I'm gonna go really quick and thorough with this. For Link 1 Link Karibo. You run Jet Synchron, and the token that Girsu summons is also a level 1 monster, so it's not that hard to make. Masquerena, don't need to go much into her. She just Link summon during your opponent's turn. Scrap Wyvern helps set up your scrap plays and to make your board bigger. 1 Lib, for those who don't know about her, the only way that you can Link summon her is if you have a world legacy card in your graveyard. So for this deck, you would most likely have the World Wand in your graveyard, just to be able to summon her out in the first place. But her main effect is that once per turn you can set 1 World Legacy card from your deck to your field, which is why you have the Succession. Because I mean, she just gives you a free monster reborn, and that's absolutely perfect. And then her second effect, if she's sent to the graveyard because she's used as a League material, you just shuffle 1 card on the field back to the deck. It's non-targeting, non-destruction removal. It's the best kind of removal there is in the game right now. And of course it's Orcust, so you gotta run 2 Galateas. If she's linked, she can't be destroyed by battle. And then she can return one of your banished machine monsters back to the deck to set a Orcust spell trap directly from your deck. So she'll either set up the field spell, the counter trap, or your draw power. Nightmares for the Phoenix and the Unicorn. because spell trap removal and non-destruction removal. Longrisu, while he's linked, he can be destroyed by card effects, and you can shovel back 2 banished machine monsters. You can shovel back 2 machine monsters that are banished back to your deck to send a linked monster to your opponent's graveyard. So it's also just non-targeting, non-destruction removal as well. Now for the really big boy lineup, 1 Borlo Dragon. I'm running him over Boral Sword because Borlo can easily just beat over like Avermax and like other like. They could also just take a Boral Sword too, because like, oh, just swing, give me your Boral Sword, and I'll kill you with your own Boral Sword. Wow. The other link for is Top Logic Zero Boros. Really easy and simple to summon. You summon something to where it points to, it just banishes everything on the field. And then during your next summon phase, it'll come back to your side of the field, and it gains 200 attack for every banished card. So that includes yours and your opponent's. 1 Broken Boy in the name of Access Code Talker. This guy he's absolutely nuts. So his first effect is that if he's link summoned, you target 1 link monster in your graveyard, and he gets 1,000 attack times the link rating of that monster. So pretty much you just target any of your link monsters that are in your graveyard, and he could just gain anything from 1,000 up to 4,000 attack additionally, because like, oh, absolutely perfect. And his other effect is that you would banish a league monster of a certain attribute. Pretty much banish a league monster of any attribute to destroy 1 card in the field. It is non-targeting, and your opponent cannot respond to that effect to be activated. Yeah. The only thing about that effect is that you can only do it basically once per attribute. So pretty much you just, so like the maximum amount of popping you'll have in this deck for him is at least 4 pops. You guys have dark, you have fire, you have light, and you have earth. So like maximum of 4 pops for him. Either way, by that time your opponent's probably already dead. For the little interesting tech that I found, running 1, the Arrival Cybers at Inister, because he is a dark. He is also a monster that is unaffected by everything. So he cannot be Nibiru, he cannot be Dark Ruler, he pretty much just can't be touched. He gains 1,000 attack for every material you use for his link summon. The only downside to summoning him is that you have to use monsters that are of different attributes. Which, I mean, sure, you don't really run that many different attributes that are not dark in this deck, but when the time comes to actually do it, it's absolutely just nuts. Also, once per turn, he can target a card in the field and destroy it, and then you summon the token after that. So Yeah, he's just a big boy that deals with big problems. And the last two in extra deck is the two Dingirsus because it's Orcust. You have to run Dingirsu. Anyway, that is my profile for Orcust Machina. This guy can get a camera.
I'd like to end on this note though.
No.
If I can borrow the fool's time. You have anything to say about
Bathwater card sleeves.
He's sold out.
I've had them for like a long time though. Anyway, that is the profile for Orcust Machina, actually, yeah. So, if you guys want to see a pure Machina deck profile,
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
well, that's later, but let's probably get this video to about 50 likes, and then I will do a pure Machina deck profile. And if you guys want a pure Orcust deck profile, let's double those numbers and make it to 100 likes for a pure Orcust deck profile. Anyway, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, and we'll see you all next time.